Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bulldozer Investing. Today is January 8th, 2021. It is 4:54 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. End of the week on a Friday after market hours today. So let's go ahead and reevaluate. Right now we're viewing the VIX chart. It did break that trend. So let's see if it continues. And I would probably take profits if it does hit 2026 because it would be due for another spike after that. Okay, just like here that we've seen, it's a pretty good support area for VIX, and it has been for a long time. So if the VIX does drop down to 20, I will probably take my profits. I won't go short. I will be watching it carefully to see if it's going to test other levels, or just as we predicted, it'll probably stick down to 20s, do something like this, and build momentum before a huge spike. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're expecting, and that's probably what we will get. We'll get one more week or 2 more weeks till the inauguration, and then we'll get a spike and retest right at this channel right here, $30. Okay. So that's VIX. Let's look at SPY. Zoom in, of course, a little bit. Maybe we can do hourly before we zoom in. Yep, it basically what happened today. Again, I said when technicals need to be retested, let's delete this box because it did actually come to where we expected. So the technicals basically had to retest, and the news-driven, one Democrat senator said, I don't know, supposedly said no more stimulus, and then Biden came out and said yes. So we get this fall and up, and we can see how sensitive the market is to news. I believe that this will probably spike up somewhere here to 390s. Market is definitely desperate for another stimulus, trillions of dollars, money pumping in, so it'll probably fly up all the way to 400, 395 to 400 range, and then we'll see what happens from there. On the hourly, MACD turned around, looks bullish, stochastics good, RSI is good. I like the volume. Let's take a look at the volume at the end of the day. Maybe do a 15-minute chart. Yeah. I like the volume right at the end, huge buys. That looks bullish for next week. Okay, probably smack down the VIX to 20 levels that I've probably been talking about, but we can get a, basically a bloodbath like this if we get all the way up to 390 somewhere here. We can just drop and then come back. It all is about news driven today. And it will be for the next couple of weeks, and the market will just keep on shaking on and off between another stimulus, no stimulus, yes stimulus, so we'll get those like resets, but it's all technical. So taking a look at the 4-hour chart, again, we'll probably spike up to these levels around 392 levels, approximately by next week, probably. So yeah, pretty good support at the fib level, 161.8 fib level. It is pretty supportive. So that's what the news basically, and it's a pretty good candle here. I would consider this as a bullish candle. Okay, I like the VIC. That means that it got bought over, got supported. So that's good. So SPY looks bullish. VIX looks bearish, which also supports the thesis that the market is bullish. Okay, I did have a lot of requests to go over, so I'm going to try to make this stay quick and just do a quick overview. Apple, I believe it was a little, and I mentioned that last videos, and I'll keep on mentioning it every single video. Expect volatility and move around 130s, 129, 130, 129, 130 till the till the earnings. As you can see, it reached our target today, spot on to the cent, as we've always been. Okay, so our target just hit, came back, pretty good VIC right here on the candle. which is bullish. It is inside the cloud, although we have a future red cloud future. But I believe that Apple will probably go over here and just keep on test. So it'll be violent bounces between 130, 135, 130 to 134, around there. Basically, the body of this candle will be our range. Okay? But overall, in the long term, I believe it is bullish. So we'll probably test the second level. The second point here is 150, 151 range. So Apple will get there after earnings, probably right after. So if maybe I should make this like this. Okay. So right after earnings, we might get just like a huge spike, hit this channel. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Although on the daily, today's candle does not look bullish. It's just because we'll be trading in the range. Okay. So it'll probably get a support at the 20 MA 129. Just keep on going. This is actually bullish that it broke above the 20-day moving average. So this is actually bullish. Okay. So we'll get something like this. Like it'll just bounce, it'll come back, bounce, and then a huge spike. Okay. Actually, last time the earnings, it dropped afterwards and then spiked up. So we'll see what happens there. But pretty good. I think broke the downtrend and it's heading to 136, and then the next level is 150. Okay. Next stock, NIO. I said in the beginning of the week, I had a request to go over it, and as soon as I reviewed the chart, I said that the chart looks bullish, and it cannot look any more bullish than what it looks like. So we had that double bottom, the higher low, the ABC, double bottom, you can call it whatever you want. As soon as it broke above the 20-day moving average and it finished above that, just kept running up. Okay, pretty good support at the fib level. That was the BABA news that people got kind of scared, that thinking that it might be NIO getting delisted too, then flew up because of the BABA news and just hit. Where did it hit? 59.31. Where was our target? 59.40. 9 cents off, guys. That's pretty accurate. Okay. Will we get a pullback? Maybe. Maybe we'll get a sell-off after the NIO day and fill the gap around 55. That's totally normal, but the chart itself is pretty bullish. Let's take a look at the long term. Okay. Now, a lot of people are going to ask me, why did I leave this top off? I think it's a blow off top. I believe the resistance is still here, got a support here. So we did reach that. And just to be honest with you, we can, and there's nothing wrong with it, we can go all the way down and test the cloud to 46. I'm not saying, again, there's no bearish news or anything. The momentum looks bullish. The internal looks awesome. So this is what I'm waiting for on the Palantir. The MACD is about to cross over, so it might just go up, down like that, and then just blow up. I believe that the chart, to me, speaks out as if it's going to hit, the $69 area. But just to be sure that the downtrend to this, the fall for this would be 49. So if you have a heavy position, like if I had a heavy position, what I would do is maybe buy 50 puts for 2-3 weeks out, just for insurance, just for hedging, just in case. But the internals, the chart, everything else looks bullish. What I'm thinking, what my target would be, that it might fill the gap right here, do a flag, something not as deep as this, but something like this. So it'll do a flag and then bounce up all the way to 69. Okay. So that's NIO. Moderna. Moderna here, as I mentioned, it's going to take its time. It's not fully ready, and I said don't be surprised if we do break, and I said this might turn out to be a bear flag, and it has a pretty good support line at the support area at the 50 moving day average, which is 113. The resistance is sitting anywhere between 121 and 120, which I did say that it would get to when we were here. So I said watch out, it'll probably get to 120, that's fine, it'll pull down. I would say just keep on accumulating. Technically, I'm not advising you to buy, but technically accumulating this stock would make better sense. It'll probably break up towards the 137 area. Of course, there are other attractive names like Teladoc and things like PACB, Edit, CRISPR, the ones that ARC is accumulating. Those names are more momentum, so you can take your money somewhere else if you're not patient. Okay. Blink. Let's see what happened to Blink. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the chart yet, and why I say yet is because the MACD is overbought, stochastics is good, RSI is good. I believe that it's just consolidating here and it's trying to define a support area. And even today, what did I say? I just said just watch out for this pitchfork. And every day from 1, 2, and 3, we've been getting a pretty good support. It's having a hard time breaking off the 44.63 that we've been mentioning on the fib line. As soon as it breaks above that, our target would be $56. So let's box that out. Okay. So I'm going to delete this box because we did get the support, and it looks like the 20-day moving average is not a play anymore. It looks like the pitchfork is a pretty good support area. I believe that it's just building momentum, trying to cross this over the fib line, and it'll get to $56 eventually. Okay. So that's Blink. NNDM. NNDM, I mentioned it looked bullish, and it still does look bullish, and it's doing what Blink is doing, and they pretty much move the same way, the same patterns and the same motions. Again, we got a pretty nice, and these can be coincidence, guys. I mean, look how perfect the support is. When you're up here flying, and I said watch out because we can get to this fib line, but we need to define two things. So when I talked about NNDM, I remember two things. I said I wouldn't buy the first spike because of this reason. Whenever we see a crossover 20, it comes back and tests the 20-day moving average again. So it could be that the 20-day moving average will move up, and this can move down and retest it and then move up. So I'm kind of puzzled with that, but this is a pretty good resistance so far. It's acting like a wall. This area of $9.59, I believe that it's squeezing out, and it'll probably hit the, so let me zoom in so people can see it better, but I believe that if you see this triangle here, this blue line and this pitchfork, so it's coming back and forth between them. However, if we do lose this pitchfork, we're going all the way down to $8, so be careful with that. However, if we break above, I believe that we have 10.15 to test, and it's a pretty strong resistance there. So I would say $1 move up from here or $1 move down. So we're kind of stuck in between. Okay? Overall, let's take a look at the long term. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Yeah, this has been like dropping for a long time. I believe that this is on a long-term bullish trend. It broke above the cloud. Okay, that's a huge sign. And I'll tell you the worst case bearish scenario for this. So for the bulls that have been listening to me, if you want to hedge or not, that's your decision. But I believe if we come down to $5 or even test this cloud bottom, first cloud top here, so 642, the most bearish case, and then even like if market crashes, it can come down to as low as 313. Now, why am I saying this? It's because it's on a huge bull trend weekly. Okay, we have not seen this stock get over the cloud for years, so it is totally normal. So you see how it tested the cloud and the moving average just kept going down for years? We have not been, I don't know, we went back like 3 years. I don't know what the maximum, let's go to here. Let's go to like 5 years. I don't know when this stock was at an IPO. So since 2016, this stock had tested the 50-day moving average as well as the cloud, bottom of the cloud. It kept testing a couple times and it just kept crashing. Now for the last 5 years, we've taken out the cloud. We've taken out, when I say V, I actually don't own this stock, but I'm just saying. So the stock has ran over not only the 50, 20, and also 100 and broke above the cloud. This is as bullish as you can get. But don't forget that the market sell-offs can happen at any time. I would say I wouldn't change my position on this for years to come. Maybe for the next 4 years, it has a very nice potential to hit, first of a couple. Let's go ahead and I don't know how accurate this will be because I can't even get to the lows of, what is it, 50 cents is the lowest one. Let me go there. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix this. Give me a second. What is the lowest? 51 cents. When you're at below $1, each cent makes a difference on the fib. Okay, so this could very well, and I don't like to be like pumping any stock, but I'm just saying for the longer run, if you have time and if you invested very little and you're just going to ride this along the next 4 years, this could very well get to $50 area. Okay? Now, I'm not saying it'll do that this year. I'm not saying that it'll do that next year, but technically speaking, this is a huge bullish move on the weekly, considering that we have not been able to break the cloud for 4 years. Not even any of the moving averages on the weekly, by the way. And now that we've broken over on the weekly, it might have a huge reset for a huge multi-year bullish run. Okay. So when people, I know people get mad when they're bullish and I'm like, okay, the chart looks bearish. It has nothing to do with me, guys. I tell you what I read. Okay. So I can't just satisfy people and say everything is bullish. I can't satisfy the bears and say everything is bearish. But if you just look at the long term, very, very long term, next couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years, this thing could hit easily $50 because you saw how well that move to downside was, how strong it was, and it couldn't break over the years. Now the cloud has been broken. All the moving averages have been broken up above all of that. And it could very well just hit, $6, $5. Don't get scared, because if you're setting your position for multiple years, I think this is something to keep on accumulating. Okay. CVAC we reviewed yesterday, so let's see how it did today. Wow. Okay. So this is what I'm expecting from Palantir, and they're kind of moving about the same, and also the internals are pretty much the same, like how the MACD is about a crossover, how stochastics are setting up to the upside and RSI is picking up, and how what Palantir did was go a little bit above the 20-day moving average, close below it, and this one now the 20 moving day average is a support, but it broke above. The cloud is green. I would probably say the next resistance is right here. It's actually where it's sitting. I'm sorry about this. So where it actually stopped is where the critical resistance is for this stock. I believe that it could see a well-defined move downwards to fill the gap and just move next leg higher. Okay? The support area to me, it seems like $99. Although I drew this, I think I was being a little stingy. Okay. So overall looks bullish. I think the stock is ready to hit higher. It just might flag a little and then move up. Okay. Uber. We did get what we wanted, and we've been right with this name. I like stocks that I can predict, and I want to go over FNGU in a second. That stock I can predict like anything else, and I wish I'd never go long and just trade that name forever. I begged people to buy it when it was 25. Now it's like 309. It's ridiculous, but thanks to Tesla. So let's go back to Uber. We've been spot on with every single call we made with Uber. Okay, how it dipped and it tested the 50, and then it went and got supported at 61. And what did I say would happen? I did say it'll test 53, 52 area. Okay, so let's see what I think. This stock making a lot of money in California and California being a blue state. Again, the whole thing about coronavirus, how many people are using Uber, business is not doing well, and so forth. But you get that delivery, Uber Eats or whatever they're doing. So that might just keep on accumulating money. I believe this company is well managed, and I believe the company will eventually get to $60. And I said that it hit perfectly on the 100 fib and expect a pullback. And I said it looks a little dramatic to test 52, 53 level, but that's what the technicals say, and you got to go with it. And that's what happened. Now we're ready, and it might just a couple days sit here and then make sure the internal set up, and then it'll just run up for the next $60 area. So everything we said with Uber was spot on so far. Okay? I like how when stocks move technical. Tesla, on the other hand, nothing is too technical on this name, but we were spot on with this. The area that I drew was the area that hit. Okay, and I'm not playing any calls. I'm not playing this name. I think it's just, for me, it's too overvalued. Where is it going to go to $1,000? Okay, I mean, like I just don't. Am I upset that I missed? I bought it at 180 and I sold it at 224 or something. And this is before the split, by the way. So I don't know how much it would have been in today's point. But so some names that you just want to own and accumulate, and this was one of them. What I think about this stock is that it's very hard to do technicals on. And everybody just buys it. People who don't know stock market, they have nothing to do with technicals. They have nothing to do with investment. They just hear Tesla and they just hear people making money, and they put $10,000, their retirement money. I don't know what they're doing, but they're just putting the money in there. So no matter how much the institution shorted, it just kept moving up. Does it make sense, the valuation? No. Does the market care about valuation anymore? Obviously not. I don't think any of the companies that are valued today, I think they should all be valued half the value that they're in. Okay. I don't even think Apple is worth above 2 trillion. It's just that today in this world, that's how things are. If you want to be a bear, cry about it and complain, that's your choice. But you got to move with the flow. You got to move with the market. So that's how you make money. Stop complaining and start getting your hands dirty. I mean, look at this MAC. I mean, technically, I just don't. And Kathy has been selling this all over this past week. She said 4,000. Everybody laughed back then. So pre-split, it's 4,000. It's almost 4,000. So I think that she's going to probably liquidate and get some cash. What is it? 5-1. It's what, 884? 884 times 5. 4,420, guys. I mean, I just think this is just over. If you want to play it, if you want to invest it, that's fine. If you want to hold it, that's fine. I just think that I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it could very well go to 1,000. That's what it is, 1,026. It's just not my cup of tea. Excel. Again, very predictable move. It hit the 100% fib, retested the cloud bottom, and is trying to break over. This is easily a $20 stock in a couple days. Perfect timing here. The stochastics is squeezing and toward, about to go towards, bullish run. MACD has tightened so well. RSI is hanging in there. I believe that with Tesla and everything, all the packages that are going to pass for the clean energy and stuff, this thing is going to fly. I think this company does have a legitimate business as well, so let's wait on this name. I do think that once it breaks 23, it'll go all the way to 28. That's my Excel fleet review. LiDAR, I think that's what the company was called. Luminar, I'm sorry, not LiDAR. That's the technology that they use. I'm sorry about that. Broke above the resistance, came back, retested, and then broke above the resistance again. So let's take a look at it on the daily. This looks bullish, guys. The fact that the amount of shares that are shorted on this and the amount of shares that are available on the market. Let's take a look at it on FinViz. So right now, not a lot of shorts. I thought this company had a lot of shorts. I guess they all covered up. Okay. And I like this chart, what they did here. Like FinViz, you can, if you don't know how to chart, guys, sometimes this computer is pretty good at charting, actually. You can clearly see the support. It's probably going to get to 40 bucks. Okay. LAZR, 40 bucks. Now, I wanted to go over one more name that was asked. Actually, let me do that in orderly fashion. 1 second. I'll get back to that. Sorry about that. So I'm going to review Palantir the last. If you're waiting for Palantir, just hold on, because that will be our last ticker, or you just fast forward to the end of the video, okay? Because I want to take my time on Palantir. We're going to go ahead and we reviewed Excel. We reviewed Luminar. I'm going to go ahead and review next is CLOV. So I had, this was a special request. I believe the name previously was IPOC. So because it is a recent IPO, very hard to chart at this point. I mean, I'm sorry, I promised, but let's see, IPOC is there. I mean, this name is now, like, I can't chart this, guys, because if I chart it upon IPOC, like it's now CLOV, and when I do CLOV, obviously we're only going to have 1 day. So, and it had a huge range today, 14 to 17, and finished right in the middle. I don't know what to say. These specs are like, you want to buy it way before the merger, okay? So you want to buy it way before the merger, and then you can say, okay, I made money. But after the merger, you gotta hold it long, and I can't do technicals on this. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry that I promised, but I can't review it because due to the technical reasons. Now, speaking of specs, which I'm not really honestly, I don't know too much about this concept. I mean, I get the idea, but overall, like, I just don't like to, invest on something that I'm not clearly sure what the deal is. I think it's just a fashion right now and like a popularity among new traders. But one thing that caught my eye is Peter Thiel, early Facebook investor, PayPal, and a great billionaire guy. And he owns I'm sorry, BTWN, I think. Bridgetown Holdings. Okay, so this is something that I would probably eye on if I just bought like one share just to keep it on my. That's what I do usually. Like because I forget these things. There's so many tickers, so many names going on during the day that, you know, I'm going to forget. So I just buy one share and it just sits on my list there. And if I don't sell it, it's just there, so it catches my attention. Okay. So this could be a head and shoulder, but then also you can look at it this way. This is hourly, by the way. Broke the downtrend, and it's supported. It's above the cloud. It's very hard to do technicals on these types of things. I mean, no matter how hard I'm going to try, it's just going to look like, you know, crap, honestly. So it is supportive at these levels. Again, these things just move on the merger news itself. So, I mean, no matter what we draw and no matter what happens, it'll just shoot up 100% when the deal is done, or when the news comes out. Actually, that's the thing. When the news comes out. Now, after the deal is done, you got to hold for long term because it won't move as fast. So I would say the cloud top, 16.98, 17 bucks is like a conservative target for this, but it's reasonable. Okay. So that is Bridgewater, or what is it? Bridgetown. I'm sorry about that. Corsair was another request. I'm going to go ahead and review this because I like the company. I've used their products. So when I invest, when I trade or invest, I am much more comfortable, and we've been bullish on this name since like down here. I'm much more comfortable investing in a name that I know the product of, or I've used it previously or currently using. Okay? So pretty good support at the 20 moving day average. Keeps on getting stuck at the 39.58 level, which is the fib, and which we have said the move where it will move is the fib lines right here. So if it does come back, don't get scared. To 20 moving day average is going to be a very nice support. The issue here is that when you have the cloud top and the fib line on the same level, it's very hard to break. And then you have the same issue at 40.93. The cloud top is sitting where the 61.8 is sitting. Okay? So as soon as we clear that level, there's going to be some frustration. It looks like a complicated W. So you get a W, and it'll probably flag. So this thing is definitely going to test all time and flag down to 45 and then move higher. This is going to be my anticipation on this one is pretty high. My expectation is pretty high as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes higher, but first thing we got to test is two levels. As mentioned, 39.6 and 40.93 are very critical due to the cloud top and the fib sitting at the same levels. After that, we'll probably test 45 and then 52. Okay? Snow was another request. So we're reviewing a lot of names today, and we're probably going to break way above 40 minutes. We're at 33 minutes right now. So just stick along, watch it over the long weekend, so you can just enjoy it, analyze it, take notes. I do see a head and shoulder, but I do see an ABC pattern. I like the bullish pattern. I don't want to think bearish scenario here, because everything about Snow is telling me that it's going to bounce, and it's going to bounce hard. Okay. I mean, the stock, I think it had, what is it, lockup period, or I don't know what it had, but you got to give it a break, man. These things just like fly high. Same thing like Palantir. And of course, it's going to rest a little. Okay. I'm looking anywhere between 370, 390 area in the short term. Long term, this is a $467 stock. Now, does the valuations make sense? No. Does the stock market move with valuations? No. We get all these pension funds keep pumping money in to these financial institutions. We get all the stimulus money. Where is it going to go? I mean, obviously the stock market. So although the valuations don't make sense, but it's like, okay, where do I put my money? Tesla, too overvalued. Apple, although I'm bullish on Apple, too overvalued. So where do I put my money? Do I put my money in Russell, fast moving, things like Blink, NNDM, Plug, and so forth, or do I take the safe haven, or do I go on the, energy stocks? These are all questions still stuck in my head right now. But I just think that if snow is valued at this much, I believe PLN2 should double. So that's why I went with snow is a hot product. By the way, I know people who use this product. I'm in the tech sector. Also, there's JFrog also, but our team actually uses it. But the thing is, I just think that PLN2 is gonna stick forever. Okay. I don't think snow. I can't even compare it with Slack. I mean, not Slack. I'm sorry, not Slack. Splunk. So Splunk, I think, is widely used, and it'll stick a little bit here and there. But I don't know about snow. We have a lot of big data with other companies, so I don't know. I don't know what makes this special. But speaking on the technical side of the view, is that this is going to go high. But you got to be patient because it's overvalued. I don't know what the short percentage on this, and we can take a look at it. So one way the stocks move fast is if it has, oh my God, this is gonna fly. 50 million float of shares, and 22% of it is short. Holy moly! Yeah, this is gonna fly, guys. I mean, no doubt. When the squeeze comes, I feel sorry for the shorts. And that, my friends, everything about the internals is telling me that this is going to fly very soon. Okay, so we're looking at this range of hitting right here. Since I like the chart, I'm establishing it. So you get a bounce probably from here. This is going to be a wavy ride. This is going to be a really wavy ride, but you got to stick with it. You got to know. You got to know when to take out, and then you got to know when to add on. Okay. So I believe that we might just do a zigzag. We might even break above like this. We might even break above and then come back. This thing can go like 460 something and then come back down to earth to 300. So it's going to be a wavy ride. A lot of shorts. So shorts covering only 50 million shares. I don't know how many of it institutions own. Institutions own 96%. Holy crap! Who's shorting this? Yeah, this is why the stock moved probably this much. Okay, so on the technical side, yeah, I'm seeing an upside, but in the background of the story tells me that this can go much higher than anybody anticipates. Not because the company is doing so great, it's because all the shorts, number of floats, all the institutions that own it. I don't know who's shorting it, but that's not a good idea. Okay, so that's snow. I had fuel cells. So I know these companies back in 2012, 2013 when I had a huge run. Plug and FCEL pretty much moves the same. I just don't want or like chasing stocks, but then again, you can give me examples like Tesla, NIO, blah, blah, blah. That's 1 in a million, guys. I mean, like, how many stocks do you know that moved like NIO or Tesla? I mean, yeah, it's just that something that I can't really tell people, or, technically speaking. So, I mean, like, I'm not giving, like, trading advice or anything, but people are asking, I own this name, what do I do? Like, I can't advise you to do anything. But just reading the technicals of this, it could move higher with Plug, but if I was to trade this name, I'd let it come down to 11 and then play it up. Now, would it blow off top and then just keep on riding it? One way of doing it is to probably go to $18, but it's too tricky at this point. I mean, I don't like chasing stocks. I mean, bottom fishing is dangerous too. I don't like two things I don't like. I don't like chasing stocks. I don't like catching the falling knife. You got to hold, you got to wait, you got to make sure that it's the right time. You don't have to trade or you don't have to own something every day or every time. Take this profit, come back. So, you know, if you're playing this like this, okay, so you rode all the way up, sell it. Buy it at 50%, sell it at back. Buy it at 50 fib, sell it back. Okay. Now, according to here, it didn't drop as much, but again, I have to reevaluate. I have to like redraw the extension, but I'm just drawing this part of it. Now, once we're here and broke above, what I would do then is take this. These things move much technical than you guys think. Do something like this. So what do we say? So these moves were pretty expected. I got here. Now what happens in this fall? How do I enter in? Where do I go? How do I know how far it can go down? All these things are like popping in your head. Take this, put it here. While you're at 50, yeah, then buy it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Buy it at 50. Buy it at 61, your next target. So you draw the trend line, and obviously the trend line is sitting here. The 50 fib is sitting here. You buy this fall, and it's a clear breakout. Now, where do you sell it? I would sell it. So you see everything I'm drawing hits the 50. It's not a rocket science. Okay. So now, how far can this go? And I'm not a magician. Yeah, this is way overextended in my book. I'd say I probably would have sold it on 1627. Can it go to 2006? I mean, yeah, but do you want to take the risk? That's your, decision. So the most bullish scenario would be 2006. So I'll leave the chart like this. What I'll do is okay. Now, how far can it come down if I want to wait for the fall? It will come down and fill this 100% fib. It'll probably come down around 1393. Okay, and to take your chance there, you can. Would it move to 20 eventually? I don't know. I just don't like chasing these kinds of FOMO. And I don't have the I don't have that fear of missing out thing. I've grown out of it. Okay, I had another one. SUNW. What is the average volume on this? The way I see from the candles and everything, I don't know. Like I like to play with the sector leaders. Okay? If I had a choice of buying, 2 stocks, I'd usually go for the safer one. Okay? Well, is that how you make money? Not really, but you get burned once or twice, you learn your lesson. Again, I just think this is too over. Like when people are new to trading, I mean, people have been trading. This is 100% extension. I'd sell it here. I'd probably buy it here. I would probably buy around $5. When people start trading, well, this is what they do. They go on Robinhood and they see the popular, what moved up type of thing, and the most like 20-30% movers. They go to stock tweets and they see that, and they buy them. Like, you don't buy the tops. I mean, and then like I get like, my friends that just have been starting and telling me, oh, I got in, I made this much money, and they're feeling all good. Like, that's not how you play the market. If it works out for them, that's fine, but again, I've been saying that's not my cup of tea. So pretty much wherever I do this fib extension, pretty much ends up on the same road. Doesn't matter where you draw this or how you draw it. Do you draw an extension? Do you just draw, you know, something else? I just think this hit the top. If you want to do a fork, it's really hard to do a fork on this one. Let's try it this way. Yeah, nothing is going to work on this. I don't think, I don't like these kinds of, I have to reevaluate and, like, you know, try to research this company a little more, but I just don't. If you told me that you want to buy it here, yeah, put, you know, $1,000 or $2,000, play the lotto and sell it right on the cloud, and it broke the cloud on the weekly, which is good, but I just don't like buying it up here when I had the opportunity to buy it here, and I don't like to chase. Yeah, I just don't. Where it can go, it could go to $12. I don't know how many shorts there are. I don't know the float of shares and so forth. I don't know why it spiked up. Did it spike up because of recent news? I don't know. I don't know what the company does. So before having, like, if I knew the company, I could have done a better analysis on this one. But whoever requested this, I'm sorry. Like, if I don't know what the company does and why the spike just happened, and I'm looking at the chart only, I just don't like playing the top. Okay, so I can't suggest or give any suggestions anyways, but educational purposes only. You should never play the top. Always wait for a comeback, something like this. Mara, I believe this is a Bitcoin related stock. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So if somebody asks me if I should buy it here and I say no, and it goes up to 28 and they're pissed at me, it's because, I mean, it's like gambling to me. Honestly, these stocks are gambling to me. A lot of people are going to probably give me dislike saying this if they own the name and they believe in, like, Bitcoin or anything. I mean, I have no regards of saying anything to Bitcoin other than, you know, good luck and be safe. But these stocks in general trade with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, these go up. Bitcoin goes down, this will go down. I like, instead of daily, I like to do short-term trading on these and just play the trends. So if you were to be, you know, playing this name, broke out, you just buy it here and then leave it. Now, where would you sell it? Let it ride. If it breaks down, so look at this. So if it breaks down below this cloud, then yeah, this is the hourly. So very hard, very hard to say anything on these names because they don't move because of fundamentals of what the company does. It's moving because of Bitcoin. If I'm correct, if I remember correct, this name had Bitcoin relation. So I don't know if it does, like, blockchain or whatever, but you just take the ride and you just got to know when to get out. And when to get out is just important critical points. So they faked out and got back in. I think this was a flash crash that happened twice on Bitcoin. So I just can't say, I don't like to do technical analysis on these names. You just these are lotto names. You just buy and take, you know, have fun. Would I put any considerable money on these? No. CRM. Now I know the name. Okay. Salesforce. I believe that this is due for a run on the hourly. Broke above the cloud. It'll probably retest and go. How far can it go? Let's meet up the lines. Okay. Perfect. You see how this played out? So it's probably going to retest 219 and then go up. Okay. You can even do an extension like this. and the lines will pretty much look this, about the same. So I'd say that this is a good investment company. I like the name. I don't know if there's any recent news buyouts or anything, but I like the name, and I believe that it filled the gap and it should be ready to go. It's just that this is not a trading name. You own this company and you just accumulate. That's my stand on these kinds of names. So after saying that this will go down to 219, it's a slow moving stock. You don't just buy this and like wait for a move like Tesla, but it's a good investment in the long term. On the daily, there's a 20-day moving average resistance. It'll probably test, come back. It'll probably test the cloud. On the hourly, it looks bullish, which is telling me it'll test the 100%, which is 233 area. On the long term, you just buy and hold this name. It's a pretty strong company. Okay. Again, this is a investment name, not a trading name. How far can it go down? If it does go down, it'll probably go down to 203, which will be a very strong buy, because then it'll definitely go up to 247. Okay, so those are the levels to watch for Salesforce. Uber, we went over. That was another request. I kept writing down requests. American Airlines, I'm not really hot on the names because so this is the story. When you buy it here, which I've been telling a lot of my friends at $11, $12, even here, not American Airlines in general, but I like Spirit, but you can choose any airlines. They pretty much move the same. This is flagging and it might look bullish. It's just that you have to be very careful on any upcoming coronavirus or lockdown news by the new administration. I believe a support will come right around 1430. But American Airlines, when this sells off, it sells off. You go in 14, it'll crash down to 13 and you're down like 10%. So you got to be very careful in slow accumulation. And I think it's due for a ride. It could go up. It's just the resistance right now. I'll zoom in and I'll tell you the levels. Kind of 50-50 on this because it's like news can affect it. The strongest resistance right now is 1566. If we break above that, we're going to 1631. So the risk to reward, if you want to own this name for long term, yeah, it's a great long term name and it's pretty predictable on the technical side. I believe I would probably buy it if it comes down. So I don't like chasing it. I like waiting things. So if this comes down, let's mark it. And you can always put like alerts on these names. Like you can, there's usually a bell somewhere here, but you can always, do an alert. So create an alert and say, warn me when it gets to 1420s. You just buy and then write it up to $16. Yeah. If you want to hold it for the long term, I don't know if the shares are diluted for me to say that it'll go back to the levels that, here. I believe there are better names out there like Spirit, Alaskan. I don't know. There's other great companies there with lower depth that I'd rather own. But you see, like the company, even before the crash, wasn't doing so well anyways. Although this is very bullish that it's above the 20, I think it'll get a retest to 20. If it breaks below 20, that's bearish. When will I be bullish on this name? If it breaks above 20, it'll probably go higher. But right now, the cloud is pretty strong on this one. Okay? although it looks like it has a little bit more room to run, I'd probably buy it at 14 and sell it at 16. That's my stance on it. Another, name here that I've been asked, CCL. Cliffwater, I actually no, not Cliffwater, I'm sorry. Why did I say Cliffwater? It's Carnival Cruise Lines, I'm sorry. It's kind of surprised why. All right. So Carnival Cruise, kind of like the same sector in a way. It's flagging. 50 moving day average is pretty supportive, but then the cloud, you see how when people say like, what is this cloud? It's called Ichimoku, and you see how it works? So the next retest would be the next fib line and where the cloud bottom is, which is 23. I just think the fad in these names are done. I don't know, maybe there are other like technical analysis analysts there that are on YouTube that are telling these names, and people come and ask me. It's their point of view. I just don't like to own a name when we are near the cloud here, and it's a thick red cloud on the weekly though. Why am I on weekly? I'm sorry. Get on the daily. I'm sorry about this. It's like I was like, why is the cloud so thick? Okay. This is what I hate about. Okay, there you go. Thinkorswim, you really need to know how to use this because it could get really wacky and annoy you. It broke, so there's two trends here. I was doing the weekly, so that's why I kind of got thrown off. It's flagging, yeah. I mean, everybody can see flagging. Now, the super bullish people will tell you this. You're going to take the base, and then get this is classic, okay? This, and then do this, and then, oh, it's going to hit $32. Buy it. Like, I mean, I just don't know what to say to these people. Technically they can go like this and just point out the 161 point extension, and then people buy it at, people buy it at here, and then it goes down to like 18. I like to tell people this. If I get a confirmation above 21 and it has a pretty good support here, I'll buy it. Okay? Another way I would buy it. Okay? So I like to be fair to those people that have no technical background, and people just want to get clicks and views, and they're cheerful, and they're like, oh, we're flying. I mean, you got to tell people when to get in, or show people, educate them how and when to get in. If we break above this trend and make sure that this 61.8 is supportive, then just nibble here and there and buy it in control. And then you can go for the longer run. Maybe it'll hit 27, maybe it'll hit 32. But what happens usually is when people don't have technical background, they'll buy it, it'll drop at the bottom of the flag, and they're like, holy moly, I bought it at 20, it's 18, so technically you are down about 15%, and they get burned. They might have bought it with margin. They're like 30% loss, and they're like, screw this, I'm not playing stock market anymore. Well, you got to tell them before you pump up the thing. You got to tell that you got to support at 19, the bottom here, and maybe even at the bottom of the cloud is 18. If you want to check to see if this if this is going to play out. So if this is going to play out just like NIO had this kind of formation, I told people just wait. And when NIO broke out, did a double bottom and then a flag, I'm like, okay, it's ready now. Just watch this triangle and watch NIO. I hate these people that just pump up and don't give any reasoning and have people go in, and of course they're going to say it's educational, I'm not an advisor, obviously, but people listen to you, you got to be careful. This is what happens, right? They're telling buy here, and there's actually a resistance here on the 20-day and a trend down on this downtrend. People buy it at 47, and it hits 39, and then they sell where they're supposed to buy. Look, pay attention to this line, okay? So they sell when they're supposed to buy. So what do I usually do? I always tell people, don't chase the first breakout because it'll always come back to test the cloud. So you cannot always catch the bottom. I will rather wait for a confirmation, okay? So on the NIO, exact same formation, broke out, and even as if it looked bullish and broke above the 20-day, I always say it'll come back and retest, and it tested the cloud, and that's where I would tell people to buy on their own risk and due diligence, obviously. If you pump up the stock here and people go in with margin and lose 30%, you're not educating people. Drawing a couple lines here and there, just saying, oh, it says 69, it's going to go to 69. The guy buys it here, sells it here, and then 2 months, 5 months, 6 months later, I told you it went to 69. Well, you got to tell people how to position. You got to tell people how to do sizing. You can say, I care less, let them figure it out, that's your choice, but I'm just telling people, when you follow people, you got to know who thinks about you, and you got to know if they're just there to catch fans and likes and subscribers rather than teaching people. So again, going back to Carnival Cruise, so you see this triangle, and you see that it had pretty good resistance, came back, got a support, broke out, tested. So I would wait for this confirmation on Carnival Cruise. I'm sorry if I was a little aggressive, but I just hate those people. Okay, so let it wait, let it break out, let it get above 21 something, retest the cloud, and then it'll be better to get in. Okay, that's my thing. That's my thing. And always do your own due diligence and risk analysis, and don't just buy things because people are giving unbelievable targets. Unbelievable. Okay. So let's go ahead and do, I know I'm like a little late, so I had like FTFT and OCGN. I looked at those. I'm not going to display it here, but those are names that I would not trade or own. Those are risky. I can't even do technical analysis on them. And last but not least, finally, for those people who are waiting for Palantir, let's see what's going on here. I'm not surprised at this action at all. So we'll look at the daily, 4 hours, and the hourly. It always happens. If you remember, I think which stock was it? CVAC. Okay. It went and it actually tested, and then it broke above. So what we're probably going to do here is next couple days we're going to test the 27 area and come back and humiliate and humble some bulls down to 24s, 25s, and then run up. Okay, so always wait for that confirmation. So I'm very comfortable saying it, even though I have pretty good, I bought more at 25.07 level today. Not many shares, around, what is it, like 300, I don't know, 300 shares I bought. Total of shares we have is on the Journey account. What is it, like 1,800? No, not 1,800. 14,300. If you have 1,700, something like that. A little more, a little less. I forgot the count, but maybe I bought 200. I can't recall it, but because I have like a bunch of accounts, so The journey account is the one that I really don't pay attention to a lot, because it's just they're sitting there for the long term for Palantir, so I don't really catch things. Like I don't watch it every 2 seconds. So pretty good support. Worst scenario will come back to 23.63. Best scenario will hit 28.88. Come back down, retest the cloud top at 26.68, and then eventually go to 32, an all-time high. Okay. Now on the 4 hours, let's see if anything is different. I like the 4 hours now because how the MACD is coming along, the stochastics and the RSI, it looks beautiful, and it tested the cloud top. Not a surprise. I gave out this chart today. I said the resistance will be 26.11, even though it looked like it broke above, came back, retested, came back. I said the support will be 25.07, broke down a little bit because of the news again. I think we had that bad news that other time with the capital billing mobbing, and then picked up. So I think this is a healthy pullback, and we can even pull back down to 24.47. That's fine, because we will eventually test 26.06 again and break above 27.22, and this yellow box will be sooner than later. And if you were waiting for this, I'll tell you good news that we are close. Okay. On the hourly, looks like we're going to do a cup and handle. Okay, we're going to go like this. Of course, the zigzagging will be always there. Hit either the 50 or the 61. We get sold off. Somewhere around here, we'll get a support, and then do the handle and just break out. Break the heck out to $39. I like this name because of its fundamentals, because of its technology, because of its CEO, because of its inventors and investors. But at the same time, I like the chart. Similar to NIO's chart again. We might get a false break. That's the cup and handle part. We'll get a false breakout, come back, retest the cloud top, retest the cloud on the line itself, and then just jump up all the way to 32.82. 32.82 is so close, guys. I just want to see that this 20-day moving average is taken out, and then we're there in like 2-3 weeks. Okay? So that's all. This has been a very, very long video, over an hour. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and give us a like, and we will take in any suggestions or questions on any tickers. We'll go ahead and review it. Good luck, everybody. Enjoy your family and weekend, and we'll get started on Monday.